everyone, my name is Bao Ngọc.
And my name is Như Uy.
And I'm Kim An.
And together we are the Three Musketeers. We are participating in this debate competition to gain skill, experience in persuasive speaking, critical thinking, and teamwork, which we believe will benefit us in our academic and professional career. As for our prior experience in debate, we have participated in in-school activities and some competitions such as the World Scholar Cup and Asian Online Debating Championship.
Now, onto the issue at hand. During the recent years, there has been a growing concern for environmental issues, most of which are direct results of a prioritization of human economical activities. However, it is undeniable that economic growth has benefited many people's livelihoods and raised the standards of living in many countries, especially developing countries such as Vietnam. Now, this begs the question of whether economic growth or environmental preservation is more important.
Before we introduce our stance and points, we would like to define some important key terms in this topic: economic growth, environmental preservation and protection, and to what extent does important mean in this context. First of all, economic growth means an increase in economic production, user spending, and profits. Environmental preservation and protection refers specifically to the policies that aim to address environmental issues, such as reducing carbon emissions, addressing pollution, and regulating natural resources. In this case, deciding that one aspect, whether it's the economic growth or the environmental preservation, is more important doesn't necessarily mean that we should overlook the other aspect completely, but that we should allocate more attention and resource to the aspect that we have chosen. In this video, we'll be making the case that environmental preservation and protection is more important and should be prioritized over economic growth. Next, Ngọc will be introducing our first point.
Prioritizing economic growth over environmental preservation leads to both the emission of greenhouse gases and other byproducts of manufacturing and increased user waste, both contributing to pollution and automatically climate change. The fossil fuel industry accounts for the majority of electricity and energy for transportation and industrial production. While majorly profitable and a good market for economic growth, fossil fuels are the leading contributor to greenhouse gases and a major cause of climate change and pollution. Furthermore, economic growth policy encourages the over-manufacturing of disposable and non-durable goods, leading to consumerism and more consumer waste. Take the auto industry, for example. People buy cars to travel. However, companies constantly come out with new models and car design for consumers to replace the outdated one. This is really excessive and harmful for the environment, since the process of manufacturing a car takes up a massive amount of energy and produces a lot of carbon. Climate change makes significant impact to the environment and human life, especially in the future. Climate change causes the rise of temperature, which will likely to affect the behavior and life cycles of animals and plant species. Moreover, due to the rise of heat, forests are more likely to catch on fire, destroying living habitats of many animals. Climate change also causes ice to melt, which will result in the rise of sea level, and a large amount of land will be covered by water. For example, it is predicted that by 2050, many beloved cities like New Orleans, Ho Chi Minh, and Bangkok will be likely to be underwater. This is an alarming problem that the world is facing, since this will put the life of many under serious risk. Next, Kim will introduce our second point.
Our second point is that environmental preservation policies prevent the depletion of finite natural resources, which economic growth cannot happen without, such as water, coal, oil, etc. If we deem economic growth more important and do whatever we can to turn a profit, we will inevitably use up the resources that Earth provides. Prioritizing economic growth at the expense of natural resources is a particularly short-sighted strategy, as it is not sustainable in the long term, and once resources run out, we cannot replenish it, leading to shortages. This not only affects future manufacturing, but also the lives of citizens, especially the future generation. For example, excessive use of water in agriculture has depleted many areas of their water source, causing citizens to lack water for daily use and further farming. In Vietnam, 80% of water withdrawal is used for agriculture. Due to rapid economic growth in recent years, Vietnam's water supply has been majorly affected, and it is also polluted by byproducts of manufacturing and agriculture. Similarly, aquifers in the Great Plains regions of the USA has been depleted after decades of unregulated pumping for agriculture. While this gave past generations a chance to earn money and to grow the economy, it is causing lakes, wells, rivers to dry up. The result is that current and future citizens in rural areas of Vietnam and the Great Plains lack water and suffers from water scarcity, and is needing to figure out how to keep farming with limited water supply. These examples suggest that a lack of environmental policies or regulations on economic use of resources will lead to resource depletion, hindering future generations' lives and further manufacturing. Now, on to Uyen with our third point.
Now, contrary to popular beliefs, environmental preservation does not have to mean a decline in economic growth and development. Advances in environmentally friendly technology, or green tech, have made renewable energy sources more accessible, efficient, and cheaper to implement, and are not at all inferior to fossil fuels. This means that it is possible for economic growth and environmental preservation and protection to go hand in hand without diminishing both sides' progresses. By implementing green tech into their operations, companies can maintain their development while also minimizing their impact on the environment. One of the major reservations companies and organizations have about implementing green tech into their operations is that it can be expensive to install and apply and would be less profitable than fossil fuels. However, green technology has been perfected and significantly improved throughout the years, and research has shown that investing in green technology and green energy can actually be more profitable to businesses in the long term. So to conclude, we believe that environmental preservation and protection is more important and should be prioritized over economic growth and development, as it prevents climate change, resource depletion, and with the new advanced green technology, this prioritization would not affect the efficiency and development of the economy. This is the Three Musketeers, and thank you for listening.